Gulmira, yeah.
How are you today?
Hi, Dominique. I'm very well, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. If you all may not remember, this was our person behind the passion, what, last week?
Yeah,
And she's all about like numerology. If you're looking on the screen, you can see at the bottom there, numerology. She did this thing with my birth date, and she's going to talk to us today and expand a little bit more on this whole numerology thing. She said, so she's gonna teach us to learn to count our numbers. I don't know what that means. Again, you're gonna have to explain that. Read our characteristics and build a Pythagorean table using numerology. That sounds like really complicated to me, but it's so good to see you again. Thank you for coming.
thank you for having me. Yes, it sounds complicated, but once you know how to build it and how to read it, I'm pretty sure you're going to get kind of addicted to this because from then, when you understand, you really want to do this Pythagorean table for every person you meet because you'll start kind of asking yourself a question. I'm just curious how many sixes this person has, or how many nines this person has, or maybe this person definitely has three eights. So you basically start thinking in numbers. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
That's awesome. I also want to say that I think it's cool. I think it's fun. It's exciting. I did learn a few things. I think we're going to have to go back and revisit my numbers again. And
Absolutely.
so you can give us some examples. And I titled the show "Go For It" live, right? So I really felt that when we talked, it's like, okay, this is the kind of woman that just wants to go for it and put herself out there.
Mhm.
And so thank you for doing that and being willing to, you know, to teach us some cool stuff.
Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to share what I know. And again, I'm not a numerologist. I'm actually, I would say, I'm an amateur, but 10 years on the row using the numerology for every person I meet. It taught me a lot. And I don't think you need to know numerology fully to understand how it works.
Hmm.
Once you know how to apply it, you can definitely say straight away why this person is the way he is or she is. So, and I think that 10 years of my experience in actually trying to understand different characteristics of different people helped me a lot. And now I combine it with my therapy. So that's why I just want to talk about the tool numerology which I'm using in my therapy.
Hmm.
And but I'm not doing numerology as a separate thing. I'm always combining it with the therapy.
Okay, so
And
give us a quick idea. Remind us, who you are, where you're from, like you're whatever. 30
okay,
seconds. Yeah.
I'm a rapid transformational therapist, and rapid transformational therapy is a new way to fix your mental issues, stress, weight loss, phobias, different autoimmune diseases, because we know that body and mind are connected. And rapid transformational therapy, it combines four different therapies under one umbrella. It's hypnotherapy, psychoanalysis, cognitive behavioral therapy, and neurolinguistic programming. So these four under one umbrella is called rapid transformational therapy. It gives you rapid effect, rapid result, and 3 sessions is enough for almost any issue. Because after every session, a therapist is giving you a customized recording for you, and this recording is helping you to rewire your brain. So basically, rewire is to make you accustomed to new habits and forget the old ones. So, obviously, every habit, to change the habit, you really need to work hard and do on a regular basis to introduce a new habit. And scientists say that it's minimum 21 days you need to change a habit. And when we say minimum, we mean minimum because some of my patients, after 21 days, they just start feeling that they're already acting differently, thinking differently. And that is when the change takes place. And I always advise to listen to it not 21 days, but for at least 56 days. That's when you can definitely say that you will seal the new habit and you will never go back. There will not be triggers which will pull you back to the old behavior or old thinking process. because it's hard. After 56 days on a row, if you listen to one recording with positive suggestions, with suggestions which would actually help you to rewire your old beliefs, that is that is all you need. So
Mhm.
when we say 3 sessions is enough, that means after every session you have to do your job. Our job here is 20%, and your job as a patient is 80%,
Mhm.
because this is depends on how much you want it. Because when I wanted something, I meditated 100 days on a row, and on the day 36 I started feeling what intuition actually is. When your inner voice is talking, that's what I felt. And this is exactly what you would experience, or anyone else. But some people would experience it after 21 days, some after 90 days. We don't know. It really depends how blocked your mind is, how much thinking you do a day. Because judging from numerology, there are people with 2 or 3 or even 4 nines. 9 is intellectual mind. The more nines you have, the harder it is to switch off. So that's why these people with a lot of nines, they are absolutely like highly intellectual people. And for these people is essential to meditate, to learn how to switch off.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it will drive them mad.
It's so interesting because, I mean, I'm a real practical guy, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that say they're a real practical person. And what does taking your birth date have to do with all of this stuff that's going on in here? So can you tie that together for us a little bit so that we can? I mean, I don't want it to be like, oh well, yeah, go ahead, because
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people in my life that have done things like this, and they're very successful at working with people and getting people, for a better word, I mean, transformed from the way that they were to a new way of living, and they're very, very happy that that transformation occurred in the way that it did.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, let's say that someone has 3 nines. As I said, 9 stands for intellectual mind. In numerology, when you do a formula, in the formula, the maximum the same digit you can have is 3. So if you have 3 nines, that is 100% intellectual mind. So 100% is very intense. So you are intellectual and you have to do something what distracts you from thinking. Usually people with a lot of nines are artists, because that's why they get distracted when they dive into this art world. And people with a lot of nines are usually actresses and actors, because by learning the scripts, they actually interfere the thinking process, which brings them unhappiness and all these kind of problems which don't exist.
Hmm.
People with a lot of nines are usually you actually might be surprised they basically work in some basic jobs, because doing some kind of routine job, it makes them distract from thinking, or maybe it's like meditative for them. And when you think a lot of nines, usually what it does, it causes insomnia sometimes, because it's really hard for you to switch off and go to sleep. It causes a lot of anxiety, because you think too much about things which are not really important. So anxiety is caused by a lot of thinking. A lot of thinking, sometimes it causes madness. When people have 4 nines, which means that over 100%. When you have 4 nines, which is not 3 but 4, and numerology normal is 3 of every digit. So with 4 nines, it works absolutely against you. You basically start thinking you are an intellectual person, but then this thinking process comes and works against you. You think so much, and in the end, you don't do anything about that.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's kind of reverses, U-turn, and goes against you. So that's why people with 4 nines, it's just, like, look at Jennifer Aniston, because I've done some job here. Look at Jennifer Aniston. She has 4 nines. She is a highly intellectual person. Not every person can actually live with her and be kind of her friend, because she gets bored very quickly. She is constantly analyzing, thinking about something. And to be her friend, you really need to match her intellectual level in order to keep the conversation going. It's very interesting. Even if you have 3 nines, you would be a good kind of conversation colleague with her. Brad Pitt, her ex-boyfriend, has 2 nines. I don't know why he ran away from her, but I can give you my idea. Because Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston have a leadership number. Both of them are leaders in their life. And both of them have this kind of arrogant attitude. They want to be a boss in the family, and maybe none of them wanted to give in. So that's why maybe it didn't work. Because in this kind of couples, one of you, if both of you have leadership number, one of you have to give in order to keep that family. But none of them wanted. So that's why maybe it didn't happen for them.
That makes sense.
Makes sense, right?
So
And they have
the numbers are in the birth date.
No, I will teach you now how to do the numbers. So let's begin. Okay, let's do as an example. Let's take your date of birth again, Dominic, if you don't mind. So what's your date of birth?
December 3.
Yeah.
December 3rd, 1958.
58. In numerology, you put day first. I know you in US they put the months first, but in numerology you put the day of birth first. So just like this.
Okay,
Yeah?
03 12 1958. Yes.
Yeah. If it is a one number like 3, you add 0 in the beginning, but you don't count 0. Just for kind of for the sake of just for the sake of keeping it tidy, right? So after this, you sum up every digit. So 0 plus 3, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 1, 7, 7 plus 9, 16, 16 plus 5, was it 5? Yeah, 21, and 21 plus 8, 29. 29. You put here 29, and you add 2 and 9. You sum up until one digit.
Okay.
And it's 11.
11.
So you don't do anything else with 11. So there are 6 leadership numbers in numerology, 6 of them. Leadership number means the 1000th number you get. And these numbers, there are 6 variations only of these numbers. So one of them you have. I will explain what it is. So after you've done that, you take the first number of your day of birth. So in this case, it's not 0, it's 3, right? If it was 13, you would take 1. So now you take the first number, it's 3, and you multiply it to a constant. A constant in numerology is number 2. So 3 multiplied 2 is 6, right? So, and then you deduct 6 after the first whole number we received here. You deduct 6 from 29. Yeah?
23.
29 minus 6, 23. You put 23 in here, and then you summarize 2 and 3, it's 5. And you put 5 in the end. So this is your numerological layout.
Okay.
So now we are going to break it in Pythagorean table so your eyes can actually see how many of every digit you have. Let me put that table here and I'll show you. So in this table there are 9 squares and each square is for one digit. So one square is for ones, the second square is for twos, the third square is for threes. So now to each square, you count how many ones you have and you put it to this square. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this. You have 4 ones and I put it in square 1. Okay. So then we have 2. 1, 2, 3. You have 3 twos and I put it in square 2. Okay. So you have 2 threes and you put it in square 3.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. You don't have fours, so we just put hyphen in here. You have 2 5s. You have no 6s. You have no 7. You have 1 8. And you have 2 9s. So that's your Pythagorean table.
Okay.
So from this table,
Be nervous about this reading like I was before.
from this table, you
Excited.
can definitely say what you have and what you don't have. And
Okay.
usually numerology is help us to decode information given us from the past life, right? So it's karmic information, I say. So what is our karma in this life? And in numerology, your karma is to make sure that these squares are filled up with at least one number. So you have to work on something you don't have in this life. You have to work on it in order to give it. So basically, in the next life, someone will have all the square filled up, and that means a person who have all the numbers, they are absolutely balanced. And believe me, I met that people, and it's very rare. It is rare to meet a person who have all the numbers. Yeah.
Okay. So what you're
And
saying is I'm imbalanced.
you are imbalanced.
I already knew that.
Dominic, no one is perfect, right? No one is perfect.
Perfect in our own way. Yes.
So now let me tell you about you, because obviously you know yourself better, but here from numerology point of view, I don't know you. I just know your numbers, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know you as a person. I don't know your characteristics, but what I want to say is the leadership number is here. So what is the leadership number? That means that someone who is born as a leader with this 1,000 number. Yeah, and there are, again, I repeat, there are 6 variations of this number. There is 2,911, 3,811, 3,810, and then 3 more. I don't remember now. So people with this number, they are born to be influencers. They are born to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
Big change or small change, but they're born to influence. They are born to work for themselves because they will not be able to work for someone else. They need to express themselves, they need to develop. But when you work for someone else, you can't do it 100%. Obviously, when you are a student, you go through working through on different organizations. But at some point in your life, you will feel you will want to work for yourself, not because kind of, even if you're happy where you are, having a good salary, having a great team, there is always going to be something in your heart and in your mind, something that you've always carried through, like something you don't have yet. And this something is the leadership, the influence, some benefit you can bring to the society. And that is you. And I think what you're doing now, that's exactly what you were born to do, Dominic.
It's pretty. That one's pretty true because I mean I can remember as far back as when I was a little boy. I've always been an entrepreneur, and this is kind of a funny thing. When I was really young. Of course, we had the little stand that we would put in front of the house, and we would actually, excuse me, we wouldn't make Kool-Aid or sell Kool-Aid. We would make candles.
Yeah.
So I would go to the shop and buy the wax and everything, and we would mold these candles, and we would put them out there on the street, and people would drive by and actually buy them. So that was my first entrepreneurial,
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can honestly say that I have worked for myself much more. I think probably 15 years I worked for someone else. The rest of the time in my life, I've worked for myself. So I've always had that role.
You see, you always had that, exactly. And people who basically do not, I mean, last time when we were talking, I gave you an example of a housewife with the leadership number. She would always feel unhappy because she would always feel that there is something more she needs to do. but she doesn't know what. She doesn't know understand what is it she needs to do. She
Mhm.
has everything. She has house. She doesn't need to work for the rest of your life, but there is something what makes you unhappy. And this something is always going to be this leadership number if you haven't, and if you did not utilize it, it's going to be always there, you know. So next, so here you can see that you have 2 9s and 2 3s.
Okay.
So our 3 is subconscious mind, is intuition. 9 is conscious mind, is analytical mind, right? So we always say that our conscious mind is always stronger than subconscious mind because we always tend to listen to analytical decisions which are made through thinking process. This is already our habit. We are humans. We have brain. That's why we involve this brain in taking decisions. Some people don't have any threes and they need to work on their number 3, which I do, to actually develop some kind of intuition. But some people do have threes like you do, but they also have 2 9s. And if you think about it, it's balanced, right? 2 3s, 2 9s.
Mhm.
But analytical mind is stronger. That's why it always suppresses subconscious mind. You don't hear your subconscious mind as much as you need to because analytical mind takes over. And when you hear your inner voice telling you something to do, you would, I don't know about you specifically, but people tend to take decision based on analytical mind because this is more familiar to them.
Mhm. Yeah,
You see?
makes sense.
So what about you? How often do you listen your instinct? How often do you follow your gut?
Well, I mean, I think that I'm pretty balanced in that way. I mean, I do meditation. I've done meditation for years, so I understand that little voice that's in there. And what I understand about that little voice mostly is that I'm a little. It's crazy. I mean, it just does never stop. And I understand the tender part, which is like it's like the soft part of me, which is like I always think of that's who I am. Is this little soft, wonderful, kind, generous soul. And so I think about people a lot. I always consider, like, for example, I just told you I sold a property, and the way that I did it, and I told every single person that was interested in my house that I wanted to make sure that that I was happy, that they were happy, that the bankers were happy, and everybody was happy, and
Mm-hmm.
it had to be that way, and otherwise I wasn't interested in doing it. So I turned a lot of people away. And so, I mean, this last guy that is now going to buy the house, he last night made the final decision. I said, I don't want to be sitting on my couch, you know, in a year or when I'm old thinking how I screwed somebody over. I'm not into that. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want you to be upset ever. So we made the deal. It was perfect,
Mm-hmm.
harmonious, right? So that way
Mm-hmm.
I'm complete inside. And I feel the other thing that I like to think about is that I complete my life as I go along. So I don't like leaving details that are undone.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me that I don't know. It's like a quietness behind me. I'm not leaving a wake of garbage, of
Mm-hmm.
crap behind
Yeah.
me. It's clean behind me. So does that make sense?
That's very good. That's very good. And as I remember, I said to you that 3 9s or 3 3s or 3 of any digit in numerology makes it 100%. So imagine your instinct is 2 3s. It's 70% accurate, but you don't hear it as much because your analytical mind is stronger. So while meditating, just try next time to take decisions based on your subconscious mind, based on your instinct. It is 70% accurate. And I think it's such a commodity people ignore and don't use it on everyday basis.
Hmm.
But if you do, just try it a couple of times and see how it works for you. And when I say intuitive mind is usually giving us answers within 10 seconds. 10 seconds. When you hear about something, when you meet someone, within 10 seconds, if you feel something, if you hear something, from your inner voice. This is the intuitive mind talking. 10 seconds.
That's not a long time. You have to really pay attention, huh? I do.
Yes, you do. Yeah, but if you meditate, I think it's going to be much more easier with you with the time. So
Yeah.
for you. So next, tell me, how often do you feel guilty about things?
I don't feel guilty.
Have you ever felt guilty
Yes.
when you were a child? So did you need to work on it in order to actually become a little bit more um, sure that what you're doing is what not you're doing, like to be a little, how can I say, to train yourself not to feel guilty? Have you had to do some work to do it?
Well, I think that, I can remember times where I did feel very guilty for some things that I did or said. And I don't do those things anymore. I'm very careful. And
Hmm.
the times that I remember feeling guilty, it was very heavy. And it was not so much about the person forgiving me. It was more about me forgiving myself
Hmm.
and learning, allowing myself to learn that lesson. So, I mean,
Hmm.
I had heard many times that, if I don't allow myself, if I don't let that lesson sink in deep enough to not do it again, right?
Hmm.
Then it's just going to keep coming back. So that's the way that I learned to.
So you needed to do extra work for
Yeah,
yourself in order not to feel guilty.
yeah.
Okay, so I mean, why I say that, because there is no seven, and seven, when there is no seven, that means a person has a tendency to feel guilty even if they don't have to feel guilty. That's the tendency. You would be more kind of that's why I asked, because some people have it, and some people come to me is like, I always feel guilty, I always say sorry to people even if it's not my fault, I have a problem, and blah blah blah. And obviously, when you look at the numbers, usually most of the times there is no seven. But obviously these people are younger, these people do not do spiritual practice, and with you it's different. Through spiritual practice, and because you're wiser, obviously you work on things which you feel do not give you comfort, or which are uncomfortable for you.
Okay.
So number four, I told you last time there is no four. Last time I told you that four stands for patience, and you said, yes, I am impatient. Yes. So there is no four, zero patience.
A little
You
bit.
you need to work on your patience in this life, and
I'm
you really need to be careful about your health, because people without four, they have tendency to get chronic diseases more often than others.
nice. Okay.
So that's why just look after your health. Yeah. So also, people without four, whenever they lie, they are caught in their lies because they are bad liars. So next time you want to lie, think about it, because it's written on your face.
Hmm. That's
I'm
true.
sorry to disappoint you.
I lie. It's funny because I lie all the time, but it's a joking lie. I mean, like what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I always lie, and everybody's like, Dad or Grandpa or Dominic, you're so full of it. I,
Yeah.
you know, so I'll go to the store or something and come back and say I forgot something, and then I know that I really didn't forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but or serious lies like, um, yeah, honey, I didn't talk to that woman.
Well, whatever you say about serious lie, of course, like when you lie seriously, you have 100% chances to actually be caught in your lies. So don't do that, rather, because I
Okay.
mean, even numerological numbers say just don't do that.
So,
It's better
so
not
if
to.
I am, what you're saying is I should wear a paper bag over my head.
No, you shouldn't just lie. That's it. Don't even try, Dominic, to lie seriously, okay? So, and finally, so six, there is no six. And six in numerology is hard working ability. So basically, it's physical work. And it's not sport, it's something routinely. It's something you just have to do in order to basically make living. When someone doesn't have sixes, they always need an extra kick to do something. So they would basically, they can be easily carried away with lying on a sofa and doing nothing. That's why they need to be always kind of making extra effort to wake up in the morning and to do the basic work they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you come and when you visit someone, you can see people straight away. It's quite interesting. I had a friend, and when I said to him, like, give me details of your wife and kids, I will tell you numerologically what is what. And his wife had 3 6s. People say 3 6 is a demon's number. It's not. Six is actually stands for hard working ability. This is why most of the millionaires, billionaires who were born in 1960s, they are, if they have 2 or 3 6s, they became millionaires or billionaires because they were working really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them would have a lot of sixes. Actually, some of them here. I would say Lady Gaga. Actually, no. It's quite interesting. I'll come back to this. So, a lot of sixes, it's hardworking ability. If you can't stop doing something, you can actually see someone like a energizer doing something in the house, cannot just sit down and relax. She or he need to do something in the house or anywhere because they feel that they need to do something, and this is what I mean, physical job, to cook, to clean, to wipe, to, sort out the drawers and stuff like this. It's just crazy. You can see these people straight away. It's like, oh, she must have 2 or 3 6s.
Yeah.
So that's
People who are, they call them um, anal, or they are particular.
maybe, I don't know, but what what I know is it's quite interesting. I have some friends, and they all have like 2 or 3 kids in the family, plus husbands and stuff like that. And one day, one of my friends says, like, "Oh my God, I cannot understand why it is so hard. It just seems to me that everyone in my household is so lazy." I was like, "Okay, give me their numbers." Everyone in the household did not have sixes. And when you do someone's work for someone, they will never stand up and do it. Stop doing it. And that's why when you know the number of your children or the number of your husband or girlfriend, if you do something for them and you say there is no sixes, you just don't, you cannot do it. You just say, just stand up and do it, because they can get carried away with being there on the sofa doing nothing and getting used to you doing it for them. That's why when girls come to me, it's like, is my son lazy? It's like, okay, you know what? He's talented, but he really needs to work hard. Really. And you need to give him extra kick for him to stand up and do things, because it's very important for kids. When a mother wants a kid to do something and she doesn't understand why it's so hard to make him do something. So just look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, okay, now you have 3 2s. It's 100% charisma, good energy about you. 100%. 3 2s is energy. Most of the singers, if you can find, actually, I was doing some singers here. Madonna, Madonna is one of them. They don't have 2s. What it means, no 2s, that means energetic vampire. So people who suck in energy from public. So people who charge on public, who get energized when they are surrounded by people.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other way for them. So you call these people just vampires, because they need to be with someone to feel more lively, to feel more alive, more positive and stuff like that. But when they are alone, they have a tendency to get depression. They have a tendency for mood swings. So these people cannot last long when they are alone. So, and most of the singers, actually, you will find that most of them, they don't have number two, and this is the only way for them to recharge. Imagine what lockdown does for them. That's um, quite sad. Anyway, so that's twos. If you have more than three twos, that's when your energy starts working against you, and you always have to control the flow of your energy, not only within you, but also how it reflects on the outside. So with four twos, you are really energetic, but sometimes you can seem intimidating, because even if you don't want to seem intimidating, people look at you and think like, okay, she's intimidating. I don't know what it is about, but I'm just scared. You know, usually these people get four twos or three or five twos. Do you know American actor Steven Seagal?
Yes.
Steven Seagal, like, look at his face. He never smiles. He really looks intimidating. He just, when he walks in somewhere, he never smiles. And everyone, not everyone, but most people are scared of him because it's just there. Whenever he's in the room, uh, people just getting scared. Not because he's a, I don't know, action actor, but because
Yeah.
there is something about him.
Mhm.
So when I looked at his numerology, he has five twos. And this is a very distractful energy. So if he doesn't control his energy, it can distract not only him, his family, surroundings, and maybe he needs to smile more, because when you smile, you soften the energy around you. This energy is become softer. But believe it or not, patients I have seen who have more than three twos, they always heard it about themselves. People tell them, why don't you smile so often? You need to smile more. And they wonder, why do people tell me this? And I explain, you know what? Here is five twos. Your energy is very strong. You can basically not, maybe you don't notice it, but people next to you, if you don't smile, they're just scared of you. They just want to stay away,
Mhm.
and it usually is true. So that's about twos. And you see the ones, you have four ones. Four
Uh-oh.
ones is like more than normal.
Okay.
And one usually stands for kindness, and it stands for confidence. So I would say that confident person, kind person, but there is a lot of free spirit in you, free will. Like, just, you do what you want to do. That's it. That's you. No one can stop you.
Can I ask? So if there was three there, that's 100%. But then there's four. So now is it going against me?
It's going against me. So it kind of yeah, it basically means something else. So if you have three ones, that would be just, good confidence, kindness, about your spirituality. It carries lots of information, especially when it's combined with some other numbers. But if you have four ones, it already kind of starts signifying something else. So in your case is free spirit, free will. You are a free person. No one can stop you, because this is how you are. This is what you are.
I was born that way.
Yes. So two fives. Five stands for heartfulness. How emotionally open you are. How charitable you are. How extrovert you are. Yeah. If people don't have fives, most probably these people are introverts, because they don't like to show their emotions. They rarely share it. If people have fives, Mother Teresa had three fives. The more fives you have, the more charitable you are. The more you see yourself helping people, helping others. So also five stands for fine taste. So you like fine things in life sometimes. So that's number five to you. And number five is also, the more fives you have, the more you have a tendency to become addicted to something. And I'm not saying just drugs, addicted, just, to develop addiction towards either food or, I don't know, I don't know, maybe drugs, maybe smoking, maybe drinks, addiction. So the more fives, the more you have a tendency to get addicted.
So if I had
So
three fives, then I would be, I would have a lot of addictions because that's 100%.
No, 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 no. Yes, it would be not a lot of addictions. Again, Dominic, the personalities, even if someone next to you had exactly the same numbers, he would be an absolutely different person because it all depends in where you grew up, what influence you had, what habits you got used to, because some people adapt healthy habits and more strict kind of upbringing, don't show this, don't show that. Maybe with 2 5s they would be introverts because they were taught to keep everything inside, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's not about the more 5s you have, the more addictions you have. It's about if there is a trigger, there might be a possibility that you will get an addiction. And it will be easier for you to get addicted than for anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So like, okay, so addictions for me would be my tendency to drink wine. Now, am I alcoholic? I don't.
It depends how many bottles you drink a day. So.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, I can drink. I can easily drink a bottle a day. I don't think that that's over.
Well, if you can stay freely like 3 or 4 days without any alcohol, then maybe it's nothing to worry about, you know. But here, everyday bottle of wine is already an addiction.
Yeah. So okay, so there's one, but that's not every day. I mean, some days. I mean, I can go 3 or 4
That's
days
good.
not think about it,
Yeah.
and then the weekend hits, and having several glasses of wine, or like music, for example. I've been, I'm a product of the rock and roll '70s, and I had to have music going. I have it on most of the time,
Yeah.
and so I guess I would say that's an addiction, and it has to be not always, but I like it loud.
Yeah, no, that's good. But you just what I mean is you just need to be a bit careful when you feel that you get carried away with something. Just know that you have a tendency, and if you have a tendency, that means it's going to be really much more harder to stop when you get carried on with it. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Well, we have lots and lots of comments over here. Are you able to see those?
on Facebook.
Well, in here in the BeLive app. Oh, you're on your phone.
Oh, on my phone. Where can I see the comments?
Well, you can see them on the Facebook also.
Oh, on the Facebook. Yes, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So Angela is there. Um, Facebook user. I don't know what that person's name is because they have to give permission.
Okay.
Oh, Muhammad says he never drinks. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of comments there. So I think the thing is, let me ask you. So before we had this conversation about this work that you do and say it again.
Transformational therapy.
Rapid transformational therapy. And
Mm-hmm.
so if someone watches this or listens to this and they want to reach out to you, what's the process?
Okay, the process is first of all, I need them to fill up a form. And this form has questions. There are basic questions about what would you like to work on? How does your life look like without a problem? Have you been taking medications? Have you seen any other therapists? And if you had a magic wand, like 3 desires you would like to have. So, and then after they fill up all the information, I have a call with them and I ask more questions about information they have provided if I think that I need a little bit more. Usually, what I ask about childhood, whether the relationship with siblings or parents are good or not good, it's just all this information because we know that everything starts in our childhood, right? So, and I kind of find more information and then we schedule session. So usually I do Zoom sessions, and session would last approximately 2 hours.
Mm.
And after the session, I send a customized recording, which is recorded in the end of the session. So I record as I as I read the recording, I record it straight away.
Mm-hmm.
And this recording is involving personalized messages, positive affirmations, which are related to this case. And these messages, this recording, client needs to listen for at least 3 weeks. Every day, preferably in the evening, maybe preferably in the morning. Maybe if they want to do it in the evening, it's okay. It's not as productive, but it's okay. So, and the more you listen, the more often you listen to it, you can listen to it more than once a day, the better and quicker result you will get.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client with weight loss. She's always been struggling with weight, and she just was listening for 2 months, twice a day, and she lost about, I don't know how much is it in pounds, but it was about 30 kilos. And she's never put it on back again, because that for 2 months listening to the same recording, it's her brain got absolutely rewired, adapted a new way of thinking, a new attitude towards food. And she just at that point she said, finally I can eat everything I want and I don't put on weight. But by then everything she wanted to eat was everything what was healthy for her, because of the recording giving her these affirmations.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, well, you have your first client right there, Angela.
Angela. Okay, we can do it online, Angela. Do you want to do it? Anyway, so what I wanted to tell you, it's interesting. I just took a couple of celebrities to give you examples of numerology, because I just put that quickly. And what I found out that I have like 8 celebrities who everyone knows. They're known around the world. And 7 of them have leadership number. That means that they accomplished their karmic program. And every single person out of the celebrity list, they became people they had to become when they were born. Okay. So Jennifer Aniston is an actress, kind of an influencer, right? So Brad Pitt, actor, influencer, Lady Gaga, Irina Shayk, Bradley Cooper, Madonna, Michael Jackson, all of them have 1,000 number. All of them. Furthermore, Madonna has 3 8s. And 3 8s means that if you have 3 8s, you can go to any casino, you can play any lottery, and you can have 100% guarantee that one day, quite soon, you will definitely win. But in the casino, you might win straight away and never lose. Because 3 8s is your mascot. People with 3 8s, they don't even need to work hard to get everything they want. They just need to know that they have 100% of luck. My nephew has 3 8s, but he doesn't have 6s. So that means he is quite lazy and he doesn't really work. He doesn't like to work hard. He just goes to the office, comes back. But whenever he goes with his friends to casino, they always take him with them. They always win. So he is a walking mascot, and I always look at him like, you don't even need to work hard. This is maybe why you don't have 6s, because you have 3 8s. In numerology, sometimes everything is balanced. Everything is balanced. If you don't have this number, you have this number. You just need to utilize it correctly. Well, first of all, you need to know that you have it. Mm-hmm. And then you need to utilize it. So that's what I help people to discover their true potentials, what they are born for, what is their purpose. This is what numerology is good for. Mm-hmm. So, and let's say with who was the one without 8s? Angelina Jolie. She has 2 5s. She has a lot of charity work. She doesn't have 8s. We don't know about her life, really. But you see, she doesn't have 8s. Nothing actually was easy in her life. I mean, I don't know much about her, but we can assume that it wasn't an easy path to where she is now. Mm-hmm. So with Brad Pitt, 1,000 now, he has a very good intuition. I don't know whether he actually used it or not, but he has just 1 8. But even this 1 8, when you know that you are lucky, when you have 2 9s and when you have 6, I mean, nothing can stop you. So with Jennifer Aniston, her brain is her enemy. because she has 4 9s, and I really feel sorry for this lady. No, because she's just highly, like super highly intellectual, and believe me, sometimes it's just not necessary to have that much brain.
See,
The less you know, the better, right?
right. I always think that even from that perspective, like most women have a lot of 9s because they can remember like everything. And so I don't know that that's true. It just seems that way because
But also remember that women have to remember many things because of the kids, because of the domestic stuff they do, because they just take care of many things, and that's why their memory is trained to remember many things.
Mhm.
That's why we are capable to basically multitask.
Mhm.
So when we actually talk about Madonna and Michael Jackson, there was 3/8, even though Michael Jackson's destiny wasn't that basically easy. But when you think about a boy from a black family came out and became a superstar, it's 3/8. There were definitely a lot of luck on his side. And
Mhm.
obviously he's talented, but how many talented people were then? Even some of his brothers were as talented as he is, but they didn't have 3/8.
Hmm. Interesting.
So
Michael Jackson, actually, I grew up, we're exactly the same age. Not, I mean, within a few, I can't remember. What's his birth date?
his birthday is 29th of August.
Okay, of 58.
Yeah, 58.
Yeah,
And
so he's just a few months older than me, and we grew up maybe less than 5 miles apart.
yeah, oh, that's nice. That's
So,
good to know. But look at Madonna. Look at Madonna. She has 2 6s. She is a hard-working horse. That's what I can call her because she doesn't stop. Even with her 3/8, I mean, she doesn't have to work hard, but she likes it.
mm,
Look, she every year she comes up with something new, with something more kind of inspiring, with something more motivating. This lady has 3/8. This lady has brain, like 2 9s. She has analytical brain, and this lady has hard working ability. So, which is good for her.
mhm,
And she doesn't have 7. 7 for females means no family.
of her own.
No stability. Yeah, no stability in family life. And to build family, she would need to put an extra effort. This is why she's without family, because there is nothing in numerology say that it's easy for her to build it. She was born to have a family. But no, in this life, she had to work hard to have a family. And in the end, she doesn't have it.
Well,
Irina Shayk.
adopted children, yes?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, look how many stories she had with unsuccessful marriages,
Hmm.
and there's no 7s, no stability in family life.
Hmm.
Irina Shayk is the same. There is no 7s. Who Ronaldo and then Bradley Cooper. There is no 7s. She would need to work harder in order to build her family, her feminine happiness. Like they say that female happiness number 7. What is female happiness is to have a family, to have kids, to have a like stable life. But obviously everything is changing, Dominic. I don't know anymore what female happiness is. So Brad Pitt as well, no 7s. For men, is also like related to men. No 7s. For him, is like really hard to build family lives. They need to do extra effort to do that. It's female, like people without 7s, they don't even have a like really like big intention to build a family. They don't have it. They just need a person who have 7 to make them have a family. That would be a person who would bind the family together. A
Hmm.
person with 1 7 at least. People without 7s, like 2 people without 7s, that would be absolutely almost impossible to have a family between those two unless they have a child who would join them together.
Hmm. How many 7s did I have? I think 0, right?
You don't have 7s. What about your family?
Well,
Was it hard to build it?
I can just give you the quick background. So I had a high school baby. We never got married, and we know each other. Talk to each other, a lot. Everything. We have a great relationship. But I didn't raise her. Then I was married at 21. At 23, I think we had a little boy. Divorced 7 years later. Have a good relationship with my son. Then another, I don't know, 7 years after that, my wife and I, my former wife, 2 more children. So I have 4 children, and I have, I have 3 wives. Well, I didn't marry the first one, so I have 3 women with 4 kids, and my current marriage, 0.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells a story, right?
So here we go. Unstable family life. So, as I said, we need to work harder. Who don't have number 7 need to work harder to actually build a family. So that's, I think we came to the end of our hour. I hope it was quite interesting. And yeah, if you want to ask me question, just feel free, leave a comment or write to me, and I will be happy to answer.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to my listeners.
Yes, absolutely. And I will put the audio version so people can listen to it also. So, but then, okay, so what I would like to see, I would like to do it again, but maybe a little bit different. So you taught us this whole Pythagorean table,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what could be another potential topic that we could talk about? Because you said rapid transformational, is there another aspect that you could talk about?
Okay, so basically, what I would need our subscribers, listeners, address a problem they are experiencing, like problem number 1, issue. Yeah.
Okay.
And before our program, I would need to have a couple of people, 5 or 7, with different issues and their date of birth. And that's where I can analyze where this issue came from, whether it was kind of from numerology or whether it was something adopted from their childhood, whether it was a trauma kind of result, or whether it was something which they have a tendency to have. So basically, I can help them to figure out where is it coming from.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, we'll see if we can come up with some sort of way for people to not maybe post you directly or
yes,
because it could be something personal, but you're going to talk about it on live anyway. So
no, but if they don't mind me to talk about it live, then they will text me. Otherwise, I'm not going to do personal just like this. I would like to use this information for live broadcasting, just to teach people, to give them an idea where this is coming from, because by now they would already know how to build the table and what every number stands for. Yeah, and they just need to send me details only if they are willing me discussing it online.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. So, all right, so we can schedule the date, and then I can make the announcement, and then in there I will say, "Here's your opportunity to,
address a problem."
Right, and then they can add that into the thread, and then we can go live and do it like that. That's cool. I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it more interactive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We had 3 or 4 people watching. A lot of thumbs up there, and there was some people at the beginning, but people have their busy lives too, so it's okay.
Yes, of course. I mean, people whoever want to know, they can watch the game. And Mohammed, I understand you never drink, so that's good. But as again, I repeat, addiction doesn't mean that alcoholism only. It can be food. It can be games. It can be computer games. It can be casino. It can be any addiction.
Sex. Don't say that word live. But it's true.
Yes,
I mean,
sex as well.
have these issues. I was just listening to, what's the guy's name? The Indian guy, Sadhguru.
Okay.
You know about him?
But There are so many of Sadhgurus and they have different names. Yeah, but I think I know them. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know him.
and he was talking about this topic, and it's these addictions, and I think what it boils down to is for certain things, addictions is like there's something missing, something lonely, something that people have avoided or something like that. So they go to this thing that can never fulfill this whatever emptiness or whatever it is. So
Yes, absolutely. Because addictions is 99.9% is about not feeling enough,
yeah,
good enough, smart enough, beautiful enough. It's just not feeling enough. And that's why they want to fill up the gap. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Wow, I love doing this. This is great. You are very knowledgeable, and I can see. I was like thinking maybe we should do your numbers.
Well, we can, but it's kind of my numbers are boring. So it's because
Oh,
I'm almost balanced. I don't have only one three, and three is intuition. So I'm working on it. But other than that, I'm quite a balanced person. Well, I'm trying to be.
we can talk about that next time. Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much for
Thank you,
doing this.
Dominic.
It's lots of fun and very interesting, and I mean, educational. I think I learned a lot. Got some things I can work on now, and I can thank you for that.
Well, my pleasure.
Giving
I'm
me
always
hope.
happy to share my experience. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. And thank you all out there who were watching and will watch in the future. We appreciate that. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. Bye from all of us
Thank you.
here at
Bye.
the
Bye.
Network. Bye bye.